Welcome to our in-depth question for today. We have a brand new topic for you, which I know you are going to love, and it is on why do you want to know your niche? So you might have heard of the idea of niching when you come as a coach. And so this session and training for you today is on the mindset of niching. We are going to cover 3 parts. So first of all is how your idea of helping everyone is actually keeping you trapped in your feast and famine cycle, and is actually hindering you in your ability to actually create real impact with your clients. We're going to deep dive into why niching is a mindset first and then strategy second. And then also we're going to finish off with why niching is as important for the client results as for business growth. So if you would love the training handout that we have for this, comment no below, not N-O, but K-N-O-W, that no. Below, and the team will get it to you today. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay, and you'll also find the download just below. So welcome to class. So remember last week we talked about the genius model, and part of the genius model had around getting you to own your expertise and recognize your expertise as a part with it that's important in being able to share your knowledge and your wisdom out there in the world. And part of the genius model is, so we had recognize your expertise, we had you defining the individual that you're working on, we had defining the niche, and then also leveraging your expertise. So we had the 4 quadrants with that. And so today we're focusing on niche and why it's so important. So first of all, if you're new to this, or we want to just recap what niche is, it's your ability to segment the market and make sure that you can specialize in an area of your expertise. So one, you've got to know your expertise. You've got to know what you specialize in and where you thrive in, where you light up with, and the topics that you light up with most. So essentially it's partly skill-based, your niche, it's partly inspiration-based, and then it's opportunity-based as well. And so first of all, why does niching matter? And it matters, mainly for a number of reasons, but part is we talk a lot about in maximum growth classes and trainings is around creating identity-based businesses. And what that means is that you get paid to be you. So you get paid to study the things that you love. You get paid to express yourself in a way that feels really fulfilling and meaningful for you. And so the result of that is we can create a business that's around our identity and who we are. It isn't like we then put our business hat on and we go to work and we take it off and we feel like we're someone else. Well, actually, you just get paid to be you, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which is so beautiful. We also then, because we're being authentic, we're being real, we're being ourselves, we, as a result of that, and we've niched, we get to stand out in a marketplace, because anyone can be a coach, but it's what specific type of coaching and niche do you specialize in that makes you stand out in the crowd, and then also becomes the go-to person and individual for that particular topic. I know that I have a level of expertise and authority in the Demartini method. And so that's why a lot of people come initially to me, is because of that. But let me give you an example, maybe more so in the in niching. So let's say, for example, you love fitness and you love wellness and you love coaching. And so you could be a nutrition coach and you could go out there and start coaching people on food and diet. And you want to help them with recipes, you want to help them with their diets, you want to help them with their food prep and planning, and then the mindset that goes around that. However, so many people do that. And so how are you going to differentiate yourself in how you're going to segment yourself in the marketplace? So you can essentially niche in plant-based eating for busy professionals. And so that's like, oh my God, you're speaking to me. It's like, I want to eat plant-based and have plant-based eating. Not me specifically. I go through phases, but not right now. I'm totally into eating lots of meat. But then, and it's for busy professionals. So it's not just like plant-based eating is, well, for who? Because an athlete plant-based eating is very different to someone who's never eaten plant-based before. And so the result of that is, if it goes into busy professionals, now we've niched. And so that means you get to be an expert with nutrition. You get to share your love of cooking and recipes and eating plant-based food. You get to have the mindset that it takes to eat that type of way. You also have your inspiration inside of it because you wake up every day and that's what you get to talk about because you love it so much. And then you also have opportunities so that come as a result because you've now niched and people know you, so they know who to send you to, like clients to. Clients know that and feel like you're connected in with them. Another might be, let's say, for example, you love personal development and you love business and psychology, and it's like, how do you merge them together and then cultivate and help people maybe remove some of their roadblocks they have around their vision, especially when it comes to their business. And so it's okay, great. So then you've got the skill set that you have around helping people in the mindset, and you've got psychology background, all the tools that you have in your toolkit. And essentially then you're niching and helping them to unlock their vision and have clarity with their vision so that they can take the action steps towards it. And so then it becomes maybe about like entrepreneurs wanting to have clarity in their vision and specifically with their vision. So you've got the idea of then niching. And so how does your idea then of wanting to serve everyone trap you in your feast and famine dynamics and hinder your ability to actually create real impact? So many coaches, and you may kind of resonate with this because you've been through this dynamic before, and it is where you have this feast and famine cycle inside of your business. Like there's a lot of like, oh my gosh, best month ever, next month, worst month. And there's a period of time that it's a high and then it's a low. So we can go through these feasts where we're like helping everyone or helping lots of people. And we have these bursts of productivity and making an impact with people. And then that follows this period of burnout, not really loving what you're doing, maybe too overwhelmed with the type of clients or the amount of clients you're seeing. And then there's a lack of resources that you have, and then you feel stuck in a rut, and then you go through famine. And so this kind of feast and famine cycle repeats itself, and maybe maybe it's like a week or a month, or it's a longer cycle of these up and down times. And so what it's actually showing you is that the type of work that you're doing and the service that you're offering and the niche that you're providing information and resources for is actually not sustainable. Because if it was, we wouldn't have these like massive ebbs and flows in it. So when we cast our net out too wide and we try and serve everyone, what happens is we end up saying yes to a lot of people. Maybe it's yes because we want to serve, yes because we want to be liked, and we actually struggle with saying no. So if that resonates with you and you feel like, actually, I'm just struggling to be able to say no to a client and saying yes to everyone, we have a great training, which is No More Yeses. I highly recommend you go back and rewatch that one and do the exercises that I suggest in that to start to create some more boundaries. And so as we cast our net too wide, people don't really understand and don't really connect with your message. And so what we ultimately want to do to create the most lasting impact on the clients that we do serve, we want maximum effectiveness. So maximum effectiveness is this idea that it's going to allow us to use our expertise, our resources, our knowledge. When we go and study a course or we go and read a book, we're going to filter that information into serving this one type of client. And so then we have maximum effectiveness with the knowledge that we're gaining and learning and acquiring. We have maximum effectiveness when it comes to then how to share our message out to the world. And then over time, what happens is because we're focusing on this one particular client, we can then have maximum results as a result of doing that because we've honed in our skill set and narrowed it down into a niche rather than staying too broad. Because you couldn't imagine trying to study, and I totally understand if you come from this world of the maybe wanting to be a polymath and studying a lot of things and studying across lots of different disciplines. But then you might only know a surface amount in a lot of things versus going deep in one thing. And so, and as we know, human behavior, when people, we've got a shop front, people come in to see us, but when we get there, they'll say, well, I've got this issue and that issue, and it's all different areas of life. And because you're working with the whole individual, so they might come to you with financial issues, but really it's relationship and health and purpose and you know, past pains that they're working on and subordinations. There's a lot of things that you end up working with someone when you get them. But what we're talking about is just that shop front. And so we want maximum effectiveness to niche down so that we can have the maximum impact with the clients that we have. I know one of the things that I've definitely come to realize from niching is that all the training and knowledge, you can then start to create your own IP and your own thoughts on it because you've specialized more on it, on that particular topic. So you get to be a specialized expert because you've honed in on one. And that's going to then help with this feast and famine cycle because you get more known of that one area. And so more people can come into your shop front and go, actually, I feel like you're speaking to me, as opposed to going, well, I don't know, she's too general. I don't know if she can really help. And their uncertainty then impacts the sales process. But when you have so much certainty in your niche, you're like, I know I can help you because of X, Y, Z, and I've got all this backing, and I've got models to show you, and I've got information to give you, and I've got evidence after evidence after evidence for days, weeks, months, and years. So people feel that level of certainty, like, okay, great. And so that result then shows that you can make a greater impact when you go and niche. So hopefully this is sparking an idea of you niching in and in a particular area. And so then why is niching a mindset first, strategy second? So first of all, if you can have a great strategy to niche, you can have all the perfect pieces in place, but if your mindset isn't there, then it's going to fall apart. And so niching allows you to have a clarity of purpose. Like if you don't know who you're targeting and who you're serving and what you're about, how do you put a vision in place? How do you put a purpose in place and a mission in place if you don't know who specifically? And so then that's where your vision and your mission can be more vague and generalized. It's kind of like doesn't really say anything. It just says, I'm going to make a difference and I'm going to impact people, not sure what type of people, and it's going to make a difference to them in their life. But it doesn't say anything specific about the individual that you're wanting to help and serve. 1 second. I just have a little Bonster. Hey. That's funny. Thanks. There you go. We are back in. So where were we? We were talking about mindset first. So we also have, because we want a niche, and because with a niching, we also are more willing, because we know who we're serving, we're more willing to embrace the pleasure and the pain in the pursuit of it. And we're willing to overcome some of the challenges that come when it comes to niching with one particular individual that we're serving. Because what can happen is, if we can have a strategy, but then our mindset is, oh, that's too hard, I'm going to go over here. And then you start working with this demographic of people and with this problem and this challenge and this type of person. And then you're like, you do that for a little while and like, oh, now I'm bored. And then you jump over to someone else and then you're like, oh, it's too challenging, that's too much. And then you go somewhere else. So then we're chopping and changing all the time. And so what we want to be able to do, and that's like that's a mindset. That's not a strategy issue. That's a mindset issue, because you're trying to avoid certain clients and trying to seek ease, move away from difficulty, rather than finding inside who is the individual that lights you up the most, and then be able to go and serve them. So I also know that there are many frustrations that people find when it comes to niching. One of them is like FOMO, like the fear of missing out. Like, what happens if I just say yes to these people, but what happens is all these people over here that I get to get equally as much inspiration from? Or you work with a particular individual and then someone else comes along and they're completely different demographic. Maybe you're working with adults and then you work with a child, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, but I love working with kids. And then it's like, and it can be distracting. Okay, you've got some rock melon in the bag. She's hungry, so delegating. She's got off to go and get some food. So when it comes to, isn't it amazing just being a mom and a business person at the same time and coaching all at the same time? So there can be fear and frustration that you have. So we want to remove any roadblock that we have around our just even going into niche and choosing a lane. Because if there's the fear and frustration there that you have, there's the fear of missing out, that maybe there's a frustration that maybe you won't make as much money. And so because of that, the result means that you then end up feeling like your mindset is actually in the way of you being able to grow your business. Then we want to clear those first. And then after we've done that, then we stick with strategy. Now, the very last thing that we have before we wrap up for our class today is around, a last point is why niching is just as important for client results as it is for business growth. So what you'll find is, because when you niche, if you're geeky like us at Maximum Growth, we have a spreadsheet with our clients and we have all the problems and challenges that they have. And so can you give me 1 minute, Bonnie? Yeah, I can see them. Yeah, thank you. She's got a mosquito bite on her knee. Because people want to niche and they want to choose a particular lane, you get to, if you can problem solve all of their issues, and then you can do what like we are doing at the moment, where we're going through each component of the challenges that you find and giving you some information that can help to kind of spark an idea for you then to do some healing and do some transformation for you to share your service with the world. Then you get to actually make a greater impact, and that is actually going to help your client get results, which is then going to help your business to grow. So that is a wrap for our class for today. So hopefully it sparks some idea inside of you to start to niche. And so having the idea, instead of, if you notice you're in that feast and famine cycle and trying to cast and serve everyone, let's see if we can hone it down into one. We can work on some of the mindset issues, which is what we do at Maximum Growth, is we help you to remove those mindset issues for you to be able to come and share your service with the world and help more people have a big impact and also make more income. And so we also know that there's mindset dynamics you want to shift. So you have to be aware of what they are. And we do that first before strategy and tactics. And then also as we focus down, we're going to get maximum effectiveness with the work that we do. And that's going to bring about maximum results for our clients, which is what they want, which is going to help your business to grow. So if you found this interesting, love to hear your thoughts and comments below. And then I look forward to seeing you at the next perfect time. Okay, as we jump straight into our Ask Me Anything class for today, I have just a couple of questions, which one is, I get distracted by all the shiny things and then feel overwhelmed by all the essential things to do. What can help me gain clarity to move forward when it feels like a priority? Okay, so what we want to be able to do is, I'm going to come back. I'm going to jump out of AMA right now. I'm going to come back. So hang out with me, team. I will be back in just a few minutes.